Brandon?
My biggest stance on this is that everybody wants to view this as a one problem, one solution. Illegal immigration, train the police force. I know that a lot of people out there see it that way, but we also have to address all the other facets. It's also an economic issue. We also have to realize the economic state that Lewisville is in as well. I don't create those situations, but we do have to work within those parameters. If we started aggressive roundups, for example, Farmers Branch, Lewisville just doesn't have the resources financially to do that. We have to look at it as a social issue as well. In order to do that, I suggest that we work with surrounding cities to say, hey, how much is it costing you? What can we do about it? What can we do to get the residents involved in the community as well to learn and translate the government's concerns to the residents? Not everybody understands why we're going to take the certain steps that we are. If we were to better articulate that to them by working with the surrounding cities, then train the police force, that would be my focus.
You know, if I was the mayor of Highland Village or Flyman, I would endorse Dean too, because he's doing everything he can to turn us into a sanctuary city. And over there, I would be wanting that to happen so we can keep our area free of illegal immigration. If you look at what's happening in the school system, Flyman and Highland Village have great schools, our schools are deteriorating. Why is that? A number of reasons, but you have things like Dean supporting day labor side, not having the courage to talk about English as the official language. Now these are things that a true conservative would have no issue, have no shame, not be afraid to do that. True leadership is what we need. Now with illegal immigration, Farmers Branch, Tim O'Hare is a courageous mayor. He's supporting me, he's endorsed me. Why? Because I would do things to take care of the problem. Take care of the zoning. If it's hard for them to work, if they can't just stand out there and mill around all day, they're going to move to other cities that are easier, like Denton. Farmers Branch has an issue, but they have no day labor side like we do. We can solve that. So there are a number of things we can do, and I have the courage to do them.
Now we're going to have our closing statements, and we'll go Brandon, Winston, Dean, and you'll have 2 minutes for closing.
As mayor, I realize that the success of our city is measured by our ability to take us from where we are to where we want to be, to utilize the resources that we have, not what we wish we had, to understand the economic state that we're in now, not what we wish we were in, to understand that there are social repercussions for what we do, and to handle those accordingly. Being right shouldn't be our only defense as far as illegal immigration. It is against the law. We should do something about it. But we also have to focus on the lawsuits that will inevitably come, such as Farmers Branch. We cannot mimic a style that has failed economically and adopt that here in Lewisville, because we can't afford that same economic risk. And business owners and families, I think, would probably agree. They don't want to see all the work that Lewisville is built on, all the success that we're building on all the policies, to go out the window because we want to be very strong on illegal immigration. I'm not willing to sacrifice all my taxes for it. You probably aren't willing to sacrifice all your taxes for it. We should treat it as a more well-rounded issue. I see more value in unifying our cause, in communicating what we're doing, as opposed to simply being strong and saying that this is right, we're going to do this. Now, as far as day labor, I can't agree with that either. It is illegal. Something should be done. But we shouldn't just throw millions of taxpayers' dollars at it and say that's the solution. I urge you to please be creative in your thinking. We have done a few different things in Lewisville that have worked. They tow your car if you don't have insurance. The reason behind that is usually illegal immigrants don't have proper identification. So there's different scenarios that we can play into that benefit the city, not hurt our image. There's no way to calculate how much it will cost Lewisville by a damaged image, such as Farmers Branch. How many less businesses would move in here? If you spend $1 million on legal fees, it doesn't do us any good if no new businesses are coming in and the residents of Lewisville are divided.
Keep on short and sweet. You know, Dean talked about the importance of voting, and I agree, it's very important. He talked about holding people accountable if they vote or not. And to some extent, I agree with that. I hope he will also support people holding him accountable for what he's done. You know, for the spending. $8,000, almost $8,000 to go on a fancy retreat, a city council retreat to Farmers Branch, where they're conducting city business. Now, how many of us are going to go all the way to Farmers Branch to watch that? Probably not a lot. Again, part of my giving the government back to the people is, number one, we're going to make things a little more user-friendly. We're going to have some, rather than just these boring, stuffy city council meetings, we're going to have town hall meetings. We'll invite special guest speakers to talk before the city council meetings. And again, we're not going to waste $8,000 a year on a city retreat because we deserve it. You know, it's our privilege to serve you, so that won't happen. Again, talked about holding us accountable on our voting record. Hopefully he will be just as supportive to hold him accountable on his stance on illegal immigration. He wants to build a day labor site. We had a form 2 weeks ago that he stated again he supports the day labor site. That's a red flag saying we are a sanctuary city. English is the official language. He voted to not vote because he didn't have the courage to go one way or the other. Now, this is not leadership. The commercial vacancies. You talk about needing the leadership to go out and help this problem. You know, we've had commercial vacancies for months and months and years, shopping centers that have been doing nothing. And did he have a proactive attitude to go out and try to attract business? Well, I haven't seen anything being done. So, as mayor, I'll be proactive. My background on radio and television, looking for big thinkers on the Innovation at Work radio show, makes it very natural for me to talk to businesses and attract them to come to Lewisville. My degree, my education, government and politics degree will assist me as well.
You know, on May the 9th, on May the 9th, we will once again be afforded the opportunity to take action, exercise our right to vote. I hope you will take your time to find out the candidates that you're voting for. You know, I don't get into talking about other people, and some people choose to do that. A lot of false accusations have been made here tonight. I think those that talk to any of you about all of them. I do not any longer support the day laborers. We support it because the police department said they thought that would be the best way to keep them in one confined area so they could better manage them so that we could detain more of them and run them through the federal ICE program so that we could get rid of them quicker. That did not work out, and no, I have not said I support it, and I do no longer support it because it did not work out. The English-speaking language. Yes, like I said, 5 generations, my family born and raised here in Texas. It is our English. It is our official language. English is, period. But for you to stand up and say, I'm going to pass a resolution that says that, so I meet my test and say English is our official language, when it doesn't accomplish anything else, and there's only 3 cities in the state of Texas that done it, 2 of them, which in both their mayors, in fact, one mayor from Oak Hill came to the council meeting and I says, please don't do this. I encourage you not to. We did it. It was the worst thing we ever did in our city. It tore our city apart. We're trying to reverse that decision. One in South Texas did it. The very next month, the city right next to them came out and said, Spanish is our official language. So now, you're creating diversity throughout the community instead of trying to unite people and say, yes, English is our official language. We need to make sure that we adopt it. We help and encourage everyone to learn and speak English, but not just by pounding our chest and saying, well, you're not good enough because you don't speak English. We all should learn to speak English and honor our country and honor the people that have fought for our freedom.